Hello and welcome to the home of the Ghost Owl, continuing on with our Warhammer The Old World series, looking at models which are currently available to buy on the Warhammer web store. So this is outside of the Tomb Kings and Bretonnia, so this is for people that are either new coming into Warhammer The Old World or fantasy overall, or only have part of their collections. They're looking at the Bretonnians and Tomb Kings going, I'm not really interested in these factions, but I want to play Warhammer The Old World. Well, what can you do and what can you buy and what factions are in a good place and which ones are not? Next up here is the Skaven. Now, Skaven, a great faction and a faction which makes me very sad that they are a legacy faction. So no new miniatures for these guys. Certainly not through Warhammer The Old World. No Arcane Journal and all that tied to shenanigans. Yeah, that makes sad. However, rumours abound that Skaven are due an update as part of Age of Sigmar in the summer. So not one to really spread rumours, but that's the rumour. And if they do, that could be a source of new miniatures, or it could take them away because they wouldn't fit with the Old World army roster. So one to watch out there. So Skaven would be potentially... unless you can buy everything you need now, and unless those models are available now, could be a risky one in the future. But let's see what is available. So first up, your Grey Seer for your Skaven Lord. Grey Seer not available on foot, only available on a Screaming Bell here. Now you could buy a Screaming Bell and have it on its own and try and put that Grey Seer on foot. I don't know what the army roster for this legacy faction looks like in terms of what's contained, of whether you can have a Screaming Bell on its own, but that would be one way of getting a Grey Seer on foot. But right now, he's part of the Screaming Bell kit, and that's what it's listed as on the website. Warlord, you have one option. It's not the best looking of the Skaven Warlords they've ever released, but it is there, and it's Age of Sigmar listed as a Claw Lord. Now he's on foot, which means he's not that bad because you can put him in a unit. So that's something at least, but for me, not the best looking of the miniatures that you could have left for a Claw Lord. Vermin Lords. Now, Vermin Lords in the 8th edition book are available. You've got the 4 flavours here. On top of that, you've obviously got the named one. Screech Vermin King. We're staying away from named ones, but all 4 flavours of Vermin Lord. It's one kit. You pick which one you want to build, but they are all available. I've included pictures here for the sake of it. They are kind of look like they're different entries on the website, but essentially it's all one kit there. And you can see which ones kind of fit with different types of clans. You've kind of got Eshin here, you've got your Skyer here and so on. But yeah, Vermin Lords available. Again, remains to be seen if these guys will make it into the Skaven roster or not. Plague Lord, again, not much choice here. Now, this is listed as a Plague Priest. You could absolutely use him as a Plague Lord if you want. However, then you wouldn't have a Plague Priest option. Just something to think about. Quite different to make this guy, or quite difficult, I should say, to make this guy different and stand out because of the nature of the miniature. So kind of if you're using him as a Plague Lord, putting it one on as a Plague Priest as well, unless you really paint him up in quite different colours, which doesn't really fit the theme of a Plague Lord, but you could do to differentiate, but that would make it quite challenging for an opponent. Just something to bear in mind. Master Assassin, this is a relatively new miniature available, listed as a Death Master. Actually, looks pretty cool. I quite like him on his terrain here. Don't always like that for when it comes to ranking things up, however, because when you put someone on that high, and if you put him in a ranked army, he's going to be sticking up in the air very, very tall above everybody else. But you do have an option for a Master Assassin. There's also a Master Mutator, which is the Age of Sigmar listing as Master Molder. So that is available. and you have a Warlock Master, which is listed as an Arch Warlock. If I remember correctly, this is actually Ikit Claw's original model, but now listed as Arch Warlock, so you do have a Warlock Master available. So Skaven, pretty, they don't have a lot of variety in each section, but there is at least a miniature you can use for each of the lords. As we come on to the heroes, again, for a chieftain, you're stuck with this Claw Lord. You'd have to either convert him slightly or change his colours or do something if you wanted to use him as a Claw Lord and a chieftain. And again, you need to be very, very clear with your opponent on what you're doing with that. Plague Priest, as I said, this is probably pretty difficult as well to split a Plague Lord and a Plague Priest. He is listed as a Plague Priest, however, on the website. Assassin-wise, again, same, listed as Death Master, it's the same. Is he a Master Assassin? Is he just an Assassin? Something that would have to be decided. Warlock Engineers, however, there's plenty of choice here. So you've got your Arch Warlock we saw as a Lord, but Warlock Engineers, you've got a pack of 2 that come here as Warlock Engineers, or something a bit newer, known as a Warlock Bombardier, with a Doom Rocket looking like here. However, no reason why this guy couldn't be used as a Warlock Engineer and actually looks really, really cool. And if this is the way the aesthetic's going, it will fit with current Skaven, and I think would actually look quite nice if this is the way they're going for the new Skaven miniatures, if they are indeed coming and the rumours are true. Screaming Bell in there as a hero without the grey seer on top, so that's an option, as well as its dual kit, which is the Plague Furnace. So both options, they're absolutely available. So Skaven doing pretty well, and as we've said before, the Legacy factions doing better than the core factions in terms of available miniatures for their armies. Clan Rats, so your basic infantry, yep, they're available. Your basic plastic kit, which is good because you need some basic infantry to meet your core requirements, and yeah, they are on the website, as are the Storm Vermin, which come in also as core, but Storm Vermin, again, plastic kit, are available. These are the more expensive, more elite infantry. Good to have both them and the Clan Rats. Skaven Slaves. So in this case, there isn't a section for Skaven Slaves, or there's no listing for them. What I used to often do here with these plastic Clan Rats is you paint them in a different colour, and you have your ones in red are Clan Rats and the ones in blue are Slaves, and they can be clearly differentiated. So something you can do. You can also, if I remember correctly, there are more heads than there are bodies in the box, so try and go for the bodies and heads, and if you can, which have the least amount of armor and stuff on them, to make them look more slave-like. Or if you even want to go further in converting, you can obviously file some of it off. But overall, painting them a different color can differentiate Clan Rats and Slaves from the same kit. Weapon teams, you've got 3 of them available, which is the Rattling Gun, the Warp Grinder, and the Warp Fire Thrower. You can see here, pretty old miniatures, but they are still available to add to your army roster, if assuming they still are in. Hopefully they are, because these are pretty iconic. Certainly things like the Rattling Gun and the Warp Fire Thrower are pretty iconic. Plague Monks as well are available. Lots of core available. We're seeing lots of infantry. We had the weapon teams. Now we've got the Plague Monks. So, yeah, Skaven doing pretty well for core options. Night Runners as well available. Again, look how old these miniatures are. They're definitely showing their age, but they are available for those Eshin lovers. So, good to have choices. Good to have choices. Giant Rats are available, however, they're only available as part of this kit, which is a Rat Ogre, Giant Rat, and Handler kit. So if you do buy this kit, you get your 5 Giant Rats, you get 6 Giant Rats, you get 3 Handlers, and you get 2 Rat Ogres. So maybe if you're going down that sort of Clan Molder route and you want Rat Ogres and stuff, that might be a route, but yeah, this is the only source of Giant Rats as it currently stands. Rat Swarms, yeah, if you look at the new Tomb Swarm for the Tomb Kings, and then you look at this and you go, man, the new Tomb Swarms are amazing. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very swarmy either, I have to say. But it is available. You can buy it. It's there on the website right now. There's going to be no change, no update to it. But is what it is. Maybe there's more that can be done from a conversion standpoint. But this is the Rat Swarm bases if you do particularly want Rat Swarms. Gutter Runners are available, but they come in packs of 3. Therefore, if you're going down a unit of Gutter Runners, this is probably going to get very expensive very quickly, and it's one of the issues that Skaven do have. Certainly, they have a lot of options for their miniatures from what we can see, but they are definitely not going to be the cheapest, particularly when you're buying these and you want a whole unit and they come in packs of 3. Plague Censer Bearers, at least they come in a pack of 5. Again, pretty old miniatures, but they are also available. So again, lots of variation, lots of choice there. Rat Ogres, as I said, they come in this pack. So if you want Rat Ogres, and you're going to get Rat Ogres, and you're going to get some Giant Rats in there as well, and some Pack Masters. So yeah, you're probably going to be going down that route. If you're going to go for one of these, you probably want the others, because that's kind of going to be your kind of theme, right? Which is going for that sort of Clan Moulder-esque army list. Warplock Jezzails are also available, pack of 3. Again, not the cheapest thing in the world, and pretty old miniatures, but they are there, they are available, and they do meet the requirement for the unit. And they're the classic if you like the old aesthetics. No one's to say that this isn't nice. It's absolutely a personal thing. Poisoned Wind Globadiers are available in a pack of 1. So should you wish to put yourself together a unit of Poisoned Wind Globadiers, they're probably going to be one of the most expensive units you can imagine per man for someone on foot. But they are there, they are available, and if you want to make a unit, you can. Just be prepared to open your wallet. Eshin Triad, if you wanted to do an Eshin Triad style thing, there is an AOS listing as Skittershank's Claw Pack. Now these guys actually could make an Eshin Triad unit. So if going down that path, and if even Eshin Triad makes it into the army roster, we will see. But potentially there is a unit here that could meet that requirement. Hellpit Abomination, an iconic unit. I can't imagine this is not in the book. A big plastic kit, and still currently available. Storm Fiends as well. This will be an interesting one, being Skyer. I really don't know in the legacy lists if they're really going to play on the time frame of the Skaven. The whole point of the Skaven being legacy, of course, is because of the timing and setting of the old world. That's why Skaven aren't in it. So does that mean the legacy lists are going to be bound by that same point in time or not? Because in theory, if they are, a lot of the Clan Skyer stuff shouldn't be in there, and Storm Fiends then would be one of those. So it will be interesting to see if Storm Fiends actually make it in the army roster or not. Because from a time frame perspective, they probably shouldn't be there. But, you know, why are you bounding legacy lists, which you're not going to update, you don't really care about, by the timing and setting, when those lists only serve to allow people to play their old miniatures in the new rule set? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they make it into the roster. Playcore Catapult, yeah, War Machine in there, which is very nice, along with the dual kit of the Warp Lightning Cannon, which is also in there, which is very, very nice. Doom Wheel is in there as well, so pretty much rounding out the Skaven rare section. So Skaven doing pretty well in terms of missing units. You've only got 5, which is an Eshin Sorcerer Lord and an Eshin Hero. Well, to be honest, we can live without that. Plague Rats and Wolf Rats, yeah, and a Brood Horror missing. So nothing there that's missing do you actually really care about. I think the main thing is that lack of variety, particularly in the character section. Maybe that's where, if you are thinking about third-party options, that would be probably the place where you might look to go elsewhere for miniatures, just to try and give you some diversity. But overall, Skaven like the other legacy factions we've covered so far, in a pretty good spot. As I said, there are rumours abounding about summer, which could either be positive or negative for someone collecting Skaven in the old world. Either a lot of these iconic old world units are going to disappear forever, and in which case you can't even make an army at that point from them, or a lot of it's going to be remade. You're going to have new claw lords and everything else, and suddenly you've got brand new options for warlords and stuff that fit, assuming the aesthetic is going to be the same. So it's a 50-50. Skaven a bit on the rocks from that perspective if they are set to be redone, because when lines have been redone in Age of Sigmar, those old classic kits have disappeared. Something to bear in mind. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. It's free for you to do. It means a lot for me, so thank you for that in advance. You've been watching The Ghost Owl. I'll see you all very, very soon.